All right, here we go. Lord Jamar, welcome back.
Vlad. Corona
Yeah.
Vlad.
Yeah. I don't want that nickname.
Rona V, what's good?
Now I'm corona free right now.
You think so? You ain't been tested. You don't know.
I have not been tested. I might actually have it and not be showing any symptoms.
There's a theory out there that if you've ever had any kind of cold or flu type of thing, you may already have coronavirus in your system a long time ago and been okay. But now this will be, a guise for everybody to go get a vaccine. I'm just saying, you want to laugh about shit like that, but when it's introduced to everybody and they tell you can't get on a plane until you get this fucking vaccine, let's see how funny it is then, fucking Vlad.
Well, this already happens in schools. Like, you can't take your kids to school unless they have vaccine shots. It's not like this is any different. This is the exact same thing.
Well, it's a different vaccine, a new vaccine with different things introduced. You don't even know what's in the vaccine now, so don't act like you're going to know what's in the new vaccine. That's all I'm saying.
Man,
and
listen,
vaccines have been blamed for autism and all kind of shit in children, all kinds of fucking maladies in the human body. So, I'm not all with this vaccine shit. But I am about staying safe, and this is what's so crazy when we dealing with some shit like this is you really don't know what's true. You don't know what to believe, and that's dangerous. But I tell you what I don't believe, what I'm not quick to believe is the motherfuckers who've been lying to me all my life, beyond my birth or whatever like that. They've been lying time and time again, continue to lie. I'm not going to just automatically now believe, take your shit on face value. That's all I'm saying. This could be some real shit though. I'm just not taking it on face value. That's all. From liars.
Well, do you know anyone personally who has coronavirus?
No. Now, supposedly, a friend of my wife's mother was tested positive. I don't think she's fucked up. She's not going to die or nothing like that, but she's the only one that I know of, and I don't know this lady personally, but I know her daughter or whatever, that apparently she was tested positive.
Well, I know this actor named Dennis White, who's in the hospital right now. He posted his video. I've known him for like 15 years. I'm not going to say we're good friends or anything else like that, but when we run into each other, we say, what's up? We catch up and so forth. He sent me a video. He's in the hospital. He's fucked up. He seems to be getting better. But I've never known this guy to be a liar or a clout chaser.
It doesn't have to be a liar or a clout chaser. They could be lying to him. They could be lying to him about what he has, is all I'm saying. Like all of this, we're taking this all on the street. We've all modified our behavior on the strength of scientists, doctors, people that we feel are more experienced and knowledgeable than us. And I'm just saying that's dangerous. That's dangerous when you put these people in a position where you feel like, look, they know better than me. Let me just take their word for it because they've studied this and I haven't. That's what's going on right now. And I'm just saying science, okay, science is a new religion, number one. Okay, number two, there's been plenty of shit in the past where science swore up and down by something and it was all bullshit.
Such as?
Such as black people being inferior to white people. That was a scientific thing, okay, by major scientists around the world that were saying this. And that's some bullshit. That was a scientific fact at the time that they were spouting it. Yet it's not true.
Well, it's definitely not true. But I'm not familiar with any scientists that actually have claimed this.
Look
within
it up.
my
Back
lifetime.
then. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about back then, you know, in those times. They were claiming that, and it wasn't really that long ago, but they were claiming the size of black people's skulls and the brain and blah, 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 the frontal lobes and the way that this was shaped. Oh, yeah, that shows that they're, you know, inferior to us. And they gave us this as scientific proof. I got other science shit that's a bunch of bullshit, you know, that we take as fact every day. I don't even want to get all into it, but I'm telling you, don't just trust these motherfucking scientists and act like they know every fucking thing.
Well, I'll put it like this. I don't put 100% trust into everything that every doctor says, but if you're having a coronavirus party, I will not be attending.
I mean, I don't know who would have a coronavirus party.
People are having coronavirus parties. It's a thing. Mostly white people, as it seems. This seems to be a white person thing. You see these white kids that are like doing the coronavirus challenge and they're licking like toilets, and some of them are actually catching coronavirus. I saw one where
a bunch of white kids were licking a lollipop. They went in a line and they all licked it, passed it back to the next one, licked it, slurped it, gave it to the next, and male and female was doing. That was even crazier. That a dude would put a lollipop in his mouth that another dude put in his mouth. What kind of gay shit is that?
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I think to a certain degree, there's going to be natural selection in terms of who survives this. I think some people are not going to be smart enough to make it through this and luckily not reproduce, because anyone who stands in a line and licks a lollipop during coronavirus probably should not have children and should not pass down their DNA to anybody else. I'm just saying. I
mean, you know, again, you know, the mind controls the body. Okay, first of all. So you got a lot of people that can give themselves psychosomatic symptoms of this, where your mind can actually make you feel like you got this shit. Give you the strength to be like, fuck this, I'm not getting it, and you won't get it. You understand what I'm saying? So there's that fine line between, you know, just being cavalier, not giving a fuck, you know, and then there's also that line of mental strength to where, like, listen, as long as I don't allow this to come into my universe mentally as well as physically, I'm not going to get it. Because it's not just about, you know, you being exposed to something physically. I've said this multiple times. I'm going to say it again. I didn't make this up, but it's not about the seed. It's about the soil. If I take a seed and plant it at the wrong time of the year, I don't give a fuck how much water and minerals it's not going to grow. It's not going to grow. So if you are healthy, if your soil is good, your immune system is strong and all that, you can be introduced to whatever seed of sickness and you will be good. Unless you allow now a mental seed to get into you and fear and all that type of shit. Now you can create dis-ease within your own body just from your own thoughts. So please, people, as much as you're washing your hands and putting masks and gloves on, safeguard your mind as well. Don't fucking sit there in front of the TV 24 hours a day trying to see what the fuck they talking about, coronavirus and all that type of shit. That's the type of shit that'll help you mentally form it in your mind. First of all, they're giving you false images of this thing, okay? You realize that that image that they're showing us, that's not a real image. That's a drawing. That's a animation. Microscopes don't take pictures like that, and they definitely don't take them in color, okay? I can show you at least 3 or 4 different pictures of the so-called coronavirus where it comes in at least 5 different colors. What's that about? Because that's not even the real thing that we're looking at, but that's the image that they're selling to us. The most popular one is the white one with some red shit on it, but I've seen full yellow ones, full blue ones. Like, come on. Like, that's marketing, bro. That's shit to give you a frame of reference in your fucking mind for some shit. And I'm just saying, It's just as fake as other images that they give us of other shit out here.
Well, I just had John Sally on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought up an interesting point. He said that right now, governments worldwide are completely controlling people's lives for the first time to this extent.
And look how easy it was.
We're also learning how to be compliant. We're also learning how to wash your hands. But literally, they are controlling the complete civilization.
Mm-hmm.
All they had to do was tell you. They didn't even really have to, pull out the guns, because everybody, when in the conscious community or people that feel like they're woke, this whole New World Order shit has been, for the longest time, we've known about this. You know what I mean? Behold the Pale Horse, books like New World Order and things like that. We've known about it. We've seen little plans being rolled out slowly but surely, like they said they would. But this is the first time where we see something that appears to be a unified world rollout of something, where all governments are saying the same thing, giving the same advice, and all of the advice revolves around taking away a lot of people's civil liberties. I just actually saw the headline to the interview with John Sally. I didn't get to see it yet, but I just, as I was in here, saw it come up on my timeline. And I said, wow, that's kind of interesting. John Sally is somebody that I feel like he's an intelligent guy. I never met him or anything like that, but I like his point of view. So when I saw that he said that, I said, okay, there goes somebody that's willing to, who's not afraid to speak his mind and put things out there, that the mainstream might not fucking agree with. And I want to get into this little conversation that you and the homie Freeway Rick had about Kerry Hilson, how you tried to play the sister for talking about 5G. And I think that's
you think we try to play her. She claimed that 5G cell service was causing the virus. And you're going to get all these crazy conspiracy theories.
Misinformation.
Yeah.
Which is...
I can't imagine cell phones somehow causing a virus. Like, that doesn't even make any type of... I mean, the science classes I took through high school will let me know that is completely impossible. But here you have someone who has platinum records is out there spreading this type of misinformation.
Well, just because people can sing and dance and shoot basketballs don't make them smart or intelligent. Right. As we can see with our president.
Well, the way I didn't watch the whole thing, but to say that, from what I understand, y'all try to just almost laugh it off like it's fucking ridiculous. And it's not ridiculous, Vlad. Like, frequencies interact with matter all the time, every fucking day. That's how you microwave your fucking food. So don't act like it's so far-fetched that this whole thing that they're talking about with 5G is just some crazy tinfoil shit. And again, I don't give a fuck if a scientist says it's not real. They're the ones that's supposed to say it's not real. And that's the fucking problem. We can't trust the people who are supposed to be trustworthy. We can't trust their word. So don't just look at her like she's so fucking crazy. This 5G thing has a lot of shit behind it. Let's talk about it. What do you know about it?
Okay, I'm looking at an article right now on USA Today, which is an established media outlet.
Regular, mainstream paper, okay, that I don't fucking trust these bastards. Like, I'm not trusting the mainstream media, Vlad. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you're not gonna
it says right here. Hold on. Let me just go ahead and state it. This is from an article on USA Today. You can Google it and look it up yourself. Everyone who's watching this who doesn't believe me. 5G has no causal connection to COVID-19, contrary to several recent misguided online rumors. In fact, according to a 7-year-long scientific study published just this month, 5G has no detrimental health effects in general.
Okay. Now I can show you something that says 5G actually the same way that microwave energy in a microwave, when it, at a certain frequency, will make the water spin inside of fucking inside of foods and things like that, and that's why it gets hot. Is the same way that 5G at the 60 megahertz frequency starts to fuck with oxygen and starts to fuck with how oxygen is processed and shit like that. Now there's other articles out there like that. Go fucking find those, Vlad, and talk about that shit too.
I'm looking everywhere online, and there is absolutely no articles from anybody.
Come on,
anywhere
Vlad.
that says that 5G is connected to coronavirus.
Everybody that's talking 5G then is pulling this out of their ass. And
yes, I think Carrie Hilson reached all the way up her ass and pulled this out and tweeted it and then took it down.
And I think they did the same thing with the coronavirus. I think that, first of all, we all know that there's the regular flu kills more people. Cigarettes kill more people. Traffic accidents, all kinds of shit. But we're not closing down the world for none of that shit. But all of a sudden, for this particular virus that has not killed many people comparatively, we're shutting down the whole world, Vlad? Like, nah, bro. Nah. This is super fucking fishy. This goes right in line with the fucking shit they've been talking about on some New World Order shit. Okay, because now let's see where this leads to. First of all, everything being shut down right now, the economic ramifications that are going to come from this are going to be astounding. Like, you're basically putting people in you're putting people in debt, and debt is slavery. So now there might have been people out there that say, like me, I don't fuck with credit cards. I don't want debt like that. You see what I'm saying? I learned my lesson when I was younger with credit cards, and I don't fuck with it. If I can't buy it, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to have it. But now they're trying to put everybody in debt. And this bailout, let's not get it twisted, because me and Digger was talking about this. She seems to believe that, the bailout, like, let's just say you have a car note and you can't pay it for 3 months, that they'll pay your car note. Like, no, you're just going to owe that 3 months. Maybe you don't have to pay it right now, but your mortgage, all your fucking bills are not just going to be forgiven. Everybody's going to be in the hole. And that's part of what they want, is for motherfuckers to be in the hole, because now you owe somebody. You're in debt to somebody, and when you're in debt, they could say, hey, you owe me this money. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, they just made an announcement today that 3.2 million filed for unemployment, which was essentially double what they thought it would be. I just watched a 60 Minutes special on the coronavirus, a segment on the coronavirus, and they took like Connecticut as an example, because that's one of the epicenters of it. Typically, Connecticut gets about 2,000 unemployment claims. They've gotten 72,000 just recently.
Right.
This is on a level that even you see like the chart, like when they had the financial, the housing crisis and so forth in 2007, it's not even remotely as high as what it is now. It's like 1/100th of that number.
Now let's also talk about what they've been wanting to do for a very long time, which is turning this into a cashless society. What's one of the early things that you heard when you was a little kid dealing with money? Oh, don't put money in your mouth. It's dirty. The dirty money. They even said that on Bugs Bunny. Stop with the dirty money. So now they'll say, oh, because of coronavirus, these dollars and these coins, stop passing them around. Okay? Because it's unsafe. Let's go to the digital dollar. And inside this stimulus package, there was something about a digital dollar that kind of got altered at the last minute or something, but there's still some language about a digital dollar in there. I'm just saying, like, you got to look at the people that benefit the most from something like this in order to figure out, is this some bullshit or not? And I'm just saying, a lot of people in the governmental powers that be position are benefiting from what's going on right now.
Well, what did you think about Waka Flocka saying that black people can't get coronavirus?
I mean, I think that was some shit a lot of people said earlier on. Again, I don't know if any of this shit is true. I don't know if they can or they can't. Just because Idris Elba says that he got it, like, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know where he stands. You see what I'm saying? Your girl, Cardi, said she feel like niggas is getting paid to say this shit. I don't know. I don't know, bro.
Okay. Let me just say,
before you say whatever the fuck you saying, when have you ever seen so many fucking celebrities, like, be the spokesperson for a sickness like this? Like, how many celebrities fucking, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is a little odd. How many celebrities are getting it? Basketball players and actors and, you know, like, it's just a little odd. You've never seen this before, Vlad. Even with AIDS, some celebrities got it, but not to this fucking level. Like, this shit was crazy.
Well, AIDS is not airborne.
Doesn't matter. AIDS was fucking yam-born, and plenty of people was fucking crazy when AIDS came out. You know what I mean? And still was fucking afterwards.
You and I are old enough to remember when AIDS first was introduced and the level of paranoia.
When condoms was only used to stop a pregnancy, but prior to that.
Right. Nobody really used condoms before AIDS.
Nope.
Nobody.
Just like nobody walked around with rubber gloves and masks and Purell before this. But guess what? If you knew that the AIDS epidemic was coming and you invested in condom companies, think about the money you made. Just like if you knew something like this was coming and you invested in Purell and toilet paper and shit like that. You're making a killing right now. Those motherfuckers is still open for business and they are killing it. I got a video of, I went to the supermarket and the shit is fucking ridiculous.
It really is. It really is ridiculous.
Like I had to, I found a little store that I'm not even gonna say because I found some toilet paper and I don't even want to give up my connect. I don't want to give up the plug. Okay? Ask me for the plug, I'm not telling you.
Yo, there's gonna be dudes on the corner selling squares of toilet paper for like $1 a square.
We laughing though.
Smell Lucy, selling Lucy's.
We laughing. First of all, my nigga Rock, I'm talking to my man Rock Marcy. He said, man, motherfuckers is buying up toilet paper like that shit got the antidote in it. like wiping your ass is the cure. Like, what the fuck? Have we ever seen hoarding like this either in America? Like, we've never seen hoarding like this for, you know, basic fucking goods and shit. Like, this shit is crazy.
Well, yeah. And I thought, okay, well, my local Albertsons is, you know, and Ralph's is sold out of toilet paper. Okay, that's cool. I'll just go to Amazon. That's the biggest store on the planet. They definitely got it. Amazon is sold out of toilet paper. Right. That's how bad it really is.
Right.
And I'm sure that Amazon, as soon as this started happening, they started to limit purchases to one per family or whatever, and they're still sold out right now.
I went into the CVS after I went to the supermarket looking, you know, maybe they got some in here. They had a sign, due to such and such, certain items will be limited, you know what I mean? Like, I said, oh, okay, so they doing that. They probably got it, went in there. Nope. All that shit is gone. You know what I mean? All that shit is gone. I tried this little store, little mom and pop joint that I never go into. Sure enough, these motherfuckers got the toilet paper up in there. I said, let me get this motherfucker now. So I can wipe my ass.
Better watch out, man. Dude's gonna get robbed for the toilet paper coming home.
Yo,
hey, man, give it up.
Like, for real.
I don't want the money. I just want that TP, baby. Give it up.
Well, here's the scary. See, right now we're with this social distancing, which first of all, I hate those two words together. I just hate hearing people say it because you motherfuckers never put those two words together before this. Now, somebody threw that out into the lexicon and everybody wants to say social distancing. It's just annoying to me. That's all. But due to the social distancing, where actually everybody is now antisocial. Like, everybody's the enemy right now. Like, because you don't know if he got it, if you got it. You see what I'm saying? Like. So now it's like it creates a air of suspicion in everybody. You know what I mean? And whether you believe, because I don't, again, like I said, I don't trust these motherfuckers as far as I can throw them. But do I want to be still recklessly out here touching surfaces and shit like that on the off chance that I'm wrong? No, I don't. So I do have my gloves with me. I do have a fucking mask with me, okay? Like, I took an Uber here today. Look, cab, come on, those fucking joints always smell virusy even before this shit. You get in a fucking cab and just the air smells stale in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then the type of motherfuckers that be driving, you know what I mean? And so I knew I'm getting, people touch the handles and shit like that. Am I willing to, play Russian roulette? Because yes, I do know these motherfuckers is lying, but it could go either way. Because here's the thing. They could be lying and this could be nothing at all. Or they could be lying and it's actually worse than they say it is. We don't fucking know. Why? Because they're fucking liars, Vlad. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, shame on me. And all I'm saying is the people that we're receiving this information from have fooled us multiple times. So I'm very reluctant to blindly, on face value, believe the shit that they're saying.
They're saying in China, there's no new cases.
Right.
And when that news first came out, everyone was very skeptical because China has no freedom of press. It'd be like, when I first heard it, it'd be like Trump saying something and no one could disagree with him. That's just going to stay. When he says, we're going to open in 1 week, and everyone's like, okay, great. That's definitely true. That's when I heard China say that. But on the flip side, Starbucks, Nike, and Apple have all opened most of their stores back up in China.
And those are American companies.
Those are American companies with American CEOs.
Right.
Who
wouldn't open themselves up to some bullshit if it wasn't real.
That was the only thing that made me say maybe there's some truth in this. Because there's no way that Tim Cook is going to be, or Nike CEO, there's a new CEO now, I forgot his name, are going to be told by China that they have to open back up and then suddenly all their employees start dying. It's up to them whether or not they want to open up those stores or not.
Right.
And in the US, all those stores are still closed. Keep in mind.
Right.
So it's not like they've opened up everything. They feel, and I saw there was Nike just reported its earnings, and the CEO said that we're now seeing the other side of this. We're seeing things come back, and with China, which a lot of people are saying is the safest place on earth right now. Coincidentally. Before China.
Ironically, yeah.
Yeah, ironically, before you're like, okay, you go to China and you fuck up, you might be, they'll never hear from you again. But now it's like the safe haven for health, and they're not letting anyone in. But then on the flip side, on a couple of websites, now one of them is Breitbart, which is, Breitbart, very right wing, but I feel more or less a legitimate news source most of the time. Another one is a site called the Epoch Times, which I'm not completely familiar with, but it seems somewhat legitimate. It is established. They both say that 21 million Chinese cell phone users have disappeared in the 3 months of the pandemic. And in China, you really cannot live without your cell phone. Similar to the US. If people are shutting down their cell phones, they're thinking that maybe the death rate is a lot higher than what they're actually letting out.
Okay.
So we don't know. It's a big fat maybe right now. The one thing that you can look back on history and see that, for example, the Spanish flu, which hit in 1918, which wiped out tons and tons of people, it ultimately lasted about 18 months, even with the lack of technology that they had back then. And after a while, there's something called herd immunity, which means that as more and more humans get
we
this,
all build up the antiviruses.
they become immune,
right.
And then once enough people become immune, this just becomes a non-issue.
Right. So when that universal vaccine comes out, all the motherfuckers who already tested positive shouldn't even have to take the motherfucker, right? Because you got the antibodies in your body already. So
right.
Leave me alone then.
Idris Elba actually posted something that said that according to his doctors, he's now immune to the current strain of COVID-19.
There you go. We'll
and that's
see.
what happens. Everyone that comes out of it, for example, Slim Thug tested positive. Kevin Durant tested positive. Right. That was to me like, whoa, okay. Here's a guy that's bigger than the sport.
Right, but none of them are sick. All of them look regular, number one. Number two, let's go to the numbers right now as of cases, deaths. Look this up right now, please. Cases, deaths, but then I want you to get into the recoveries, because that's what they're not fucking talking about. If there's 70,000 cases worldwide, there's 100,000 recoveries. So what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, look it up, Vlad.
I am looking it up. The global cases is roughly 500,000, 500,000 people.
Okay.
And the death rate is usually between 2% and 4%.
What is that in numbers exactly? Worldwide. It should have the number. What is the number?
Okay, hold on. Number.
Because people don't know what 2% and 4% means out of that.
So I found a website. There's currently 522,714 cases, 23,621 deaths, 123,322 recovered.
Say that again. Of how many recovered?
123,000.
As opposed to how many died?
23,000. So I'm not sure what that says about.
In a world of how many people?
Let's take a look. How many people on Earth?
7 billion?
7.5 billion. That was in 2017, so probably close to 8 billion.
If you don't get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. If you don't get the fuck out of here with this fucking bull, what's the percentage? What is 500,000 the percentage of 7 billion? Like what does that come out to? 0.3%? Some crazy shit. Like what does that come out to?
0.00006.
If you don't get the fuck out of my face with this bullshit, let's talk about something else, because this is some bullshit.
Well, number one, rest in peace, DJ Black and Mild of New Orleans.
Yes.
Who they say died from it. I'm not personally familiar with him because I'm not big on the bounce music scene.
I don't know who it is
but
at all.
Apparently Louisiana had the most initial cases of like anywhere in the world. And they're saying that Mardi Gras might have been the reason, and the party lifestyle and so forth, and so many people congregating together. So,
Flashing
man,
them
look,
titties in the air, that'll just make Corona just jump out of the titties.
right. So everyone, all my people, all my viewers in New Orleans, please be careful. One of my favorite cities in the world. I absolutely love New Orleans. And also, we just found out that Capadonna's mother died.
Yo, I just heard that.
Yeah. And we're not sure, because someone emailed me and said, oh, Capadonna's mother died because of coronavirus. So I looked it up and I couldn't confirm that that was the reason. But apparently she had breathing problems prior to going to the hospital, and she died, and he was crying, on video about it, as most of us would be. Very sad, man. And the thing about it is that I think what's going to be happening is that a lot of people that are already sick, already older and so forth, if they do catch this, they're just going to die earlier than they would have otherwise. It's going to just speed up the process by a couple of months and so forth. So when they say, 2 million people are going to die from coronavirus in America, well, the majority of those would have died anyways from old age and sickness and so forth.
How many
So
people
you have
go
to take
the
that
hospital?
number,
how many people go
grain
to
of
the
salt.
hospital for sickness and then end up dying of pneumonia?
I've never heard of anyone doing that.
Oh, what? It happens all the fucking time. Are you kidding me?
Not saying that it doesn't. I don't know a single
Okay, I'm
person
just
that went to the
saying
hospital and died of
That
pneumonia.
happens all the time, Vlad. Look it up. So all I'm saying is pneumonia could have been another name for coronavirus. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they almost, something that's already been around, it's almost like you repackage it. You see what I'm saying? And that could if I just said, pneumonia is going around, that's not as scary as a new name as coronavirus or blah, blah, blah. But a lot of these things, that respiratory diseases that people might have died from back in the days, could have been this type of shit. They just didn't label it like that. And again, this is not as new as they say it is, okay? Because you go to your cans of Lysol and all these other disinfectants, and coronavirus, human coronavirus, is on that motherfucking can prior to, 2020 or whatever the fuck, when this first fucking came out. So coronavirus is something they've known about for a while.
Puffy's baby mother, Kim Porter, she actually died of lobar pneumonia in 2018.
Yeah.
So we all know, everyone knows who Puffy is. And if you know Puffy, you know who Kim Porter is if you do a little bit of research. So we're all connected to someone we know who died of pneumonia not that long ago.
Right.
So this happens. This happens. It's a serious thing. Everyone be careful out there. I think we're going to get through it just fine. It's annoying, but
listen, I'm more worried about how the government and all that is responding to this than I am of an actual virus. I'm more worried about the civil liberties that y'all motherfuckers are just gonna willingly give away because you're so fucking scared. That's the type of shit I'm worried about. That's what the conscious community is more worried about. We're not really worried about this fucking shit because guess what? Just like I said, with the seed in the soil, we've already been fucking juicing and, you know what I mean, eating good, stop eating swine and shit. We've been making our soil where it's not susceptible to shit like this. We already on this type of shit. You see what I'm saying? So that's not really the part that's so much scary for me. I'm not really worried about dying. I mean, nobody wants to get sick. You know what I mean? I think maybe you probably could get sick from this. But as far as how many people it's gonna kill, but I don't even want to get sick. I don't want to catch nothing. So yeah, if y'all got something going around, I'd rather not fuck with it. But I'm more worried about how the government and all of this is using this as a way to get more control over the population.
Well, I'll tell you this. You see a lot of big celebrities that are testing positive. You mentioned Idris Elba. We talked about Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Tom
Hanks. A-listers by any stretch of the imagination. Now, people hear about it and, okay, that's worrisome and so forth. At the point that one of these major celebrities actually dies from coronavirus, that's when you're going to see a real freak out.
And that's, that's crazy too, because why should it take a celebrity for people to freak out? Like if it is real, anybody dying from it should make you freak out. Why a celebrity? You know what I mean? And again, like, say a celebrity dies, do we know that they didn't have any underlying, you see what I'm saying? Like so much shit that goes into it. And again, this shit could be real. I'm just saying it's hard to take the word of a liar. It's hard to take the word of a liar, bro. It's hard to take the word of someone who's constantly lied to me all my life about multiple things, about some of the simplest things. And now I just got to take your word on this. I can't do it.
Well, yesterday there were 13 deaths in one particular New York City hospital.
Aww. Like, bro, there's cities that, motherfuckers, 13 people could get killed in a weekend on some shooting shit. Like, ain't nobody calling that a pandemic. Like, there's so much other shit out there that takes much more life that we're not banning, we're not keeping people inside. Like, it's just fucking why this?
Well, the FBI actually put out a statement that said that white supremacists are plotting to spread coronavirus to police and Jews.
Right.
I don't know why other minorities were excluded from this particular group. I don't know if white supremacists and black people suddenly formed some sort of alliance that I didn't know about.
No, we haven't. So I don't know what that's about.
Oh, so when you went to the last black meeting,
no, they
that
wasn't
wasn't
there.
brought up.
They
weren't there. Okay,
they were
all right,
not
just checking.
there.
Right, because I'm not allowed at these meetings. I have to ask you.
Right.
I tried to get in a few times. They're like, nah.
Listen, you know what I find funny is this is one of the only times where a black man could go outside with a mask on his face and not fucking be looked at like, what the fuck are you doing wrong? Huh? This is
remember Michael Jackson used to go out with a mask everywhere, and everyone called him crazy.
Right, but he wasn't a regular, and nobody would be calling him crazy. Right now, Michael would be alive, he'd be like, see, motherfucker? This shit don't look so bad, do it. That fucking bubble he was living in and all kind of shit. These hyperbaric chambers don't look so bad now, do they? Motherfuckers, I wasn't so crazy after all.
Oh, yeah, Mike would be chilling in Neverland right now, and no one would be invited. Oh, leaving Neverland? Now y'all can't come into Neverland. This is all mine right now. I'm quarantining here. Let me go ride my roller coaster by myself, bitch.
Even the little kids might have to stay 6 feet away. Okay?
That's right.
That's when it was, see, he don't fuck with little kids. He even made them stay 6 feet away. The fuck you talking about? Yeah, man. Well, I think we was talking about this, but think about all the people that were prepping for shit like this. Crazy Uncle Phil, who's been hoarding toilet paper since 85. You know what I mean? Crazy Uncle Phil don't seem so crazy right now. You know what I mean? You over at Crazy Phil trying to get a couple of rolls from this motherfucker. He like, you're not getting none of my crazy man toilet paper. Motherfucker, you was talking shit about me all this fucking time. Like, think about Noah's Ark. This is almost one of those type of things. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers was talking shit. Nigga, it's sunny out. What you doing building? Oh, I'm telling you, it's going to rain one fucking day, and it's just going to, you crazy motherfucker. And now, look at him.
Well, let's switch gears for a second.
Yes.
Jay Electronica dropped a new album.
Yes.
With Jay-Z.
Which I was not expecting.
I don't think anyone was expecting that. It's essentially Watch the Throne Part 2.
I guess, if you want to call it that.
I have a theory which is not backed by any facts whatsoever. But my theory is that Jay Electronica is actually the name of a group that consists of Jay-Z and a rapper named Electronica. This is why, when you look at the album, none of the songs are featuring Jay-Z. Because it's a group named Jay Electronica.
No.
Jay-Z and Electronica.
It was Jay Electronica before they ever even met. When he
don't bring up all these facts
to
try to
fuck up this
keep your damn accurate facts to yourself, and let me just come up with my conspiracy theory here without all this extra fact baggage.
That would be nice, if facts were something that we could put under the rug and all of that. But the fact that he's been Jay Electronica when he was running with Puffy, he was Jay Electronica. That just doesn't hold water for me. Now, I just want to start by saying Jay Electronica for me was like one of my favorite rappers. Like when I first got introduced to him and all his music, however many years back, I was in love with Jay Electronica, with everything that he stood for, just his whole style, his beat select, all of that. Like, I was probably the number one, was gonna just sit down and shut up and wait for whenever this fucking album came. Because I'm thinking when this fucking shit come, he's gonna sit everybody down. He's gonna help change hip hop back to what it needs to be. Like, even when he signed with Jay, I was like, why is he doing that? But all right, maybe, fuck it. I say all that to say when he put this album out, I was disappointed.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because I actually like the album. This album has been in my rotation.
Really?
Since it dropped. Yeah.
I am disappointed. And this is not, again, let me stress, I'm going to look in the camera. I love Jay Electronica. Like, I love Jay Electronica, bro. But I was disappointed by this album. Let me tell you some of my reasons why. First of all, the symbiotic relationship between Jay Electronica and Just Blaze is something that is, like a legendary to me, like a Snoop and a Dre type of thing. How do we not have any Just Blaze on this album?
Yeah, there's not a single song by Just Blaze. The producers on this are Swizz Beatz, Hit Boy, Arab Music, Alchemist, No ID, and Krangbin. I'm not familiar with that guy, but he did the last song. But you're right. Just Blaze was not on there. Although some of the beats sounded kind of Just Blaze-ish. The Ghost of Soulja Slim, I thought sounded like a Just Blaze beat. But, it was produced by Jay Electronica.
Well, first of all, Shiny Suit Theory, why was that on there? Because that was previously released already.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah. Shiny Suit Theory been out for years now. So I didn't even understand why that was on there. Then when I'm hearing Jay-Z on every song, now again, Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers. So how do you take two of my favorite rappers, put them together, and they make something that is not crazy to me? Like, it just, I enjoyed Jay, going in his conscious bag. We hear that from time to time. But I just feel like he didn't need to be on every song. To me, it felt like Jay Electronica was a little insecure. And to have Jay-Z on every song was like a security blanket. Like, ain't no way they could front on me. I got Jay on every song. Like, who does that? And I wonder why
Jay is not credited on any song at all. There's no featuring Jay-Z anywhere. Now, if you go into the credits and start looking at it, yeah, okay, it's there. And he's clearly on pretty much every song. But it's not featuring Jay-Z anywhere. And it's not Jay Electronica and Jay-Z. Hence my theory, Jay Electronica is a group, but whatever.
But yeah, it's not real. But anyway,
right. Yeah, I know it's not real. But here's what I think is an actual, and I like the album, right? I'm not dissing the album. I think that an actual criticism that's valid is that this album was not mixed on the level of like a typical Jay-Z album or a major album of this caliber. The mixing was a bit, I don't know. It just didn't sound as clear and well mastered.
I can agree with that, but that's one of the least of my problems of it right now. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like to me, it was more the beat selection. And I'm gonna be honest, like I've heard Jay Electronica in such way more creative mode. Like I've heard him rhyme on beats that nobody else would be able to rhyme on. Like beats that were so unorthodox, but like he made it work. And like, I don't know, I feel like I just didn't hear the level of lyricism. Like I heard shades of it, but like the level of lyricism that I know Jay Electronica for, I just feel like he didn't hit that mark that I know him for. And again, like I need the whole, because again, Digga, she loves the album, but she's looking at it just from the lyrical side of it. You know what I mean? And if I was the type of person that can just do that, where I can just separate, lyrics, I'm the type, I'm a producer. So I'm looking at I'm looking at the beat, the rhymes, and yes, then the mix and shit like that, and even the way it's sequenced and all of that, I'm looking at. As a super Jay Electronica fan, I was disappointed. Man. I was disappointed. And I fucks with Jay Electronica. I fucks with Jay-Z. But, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, we needed a lot more of that Just Blaze shit on this one. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, Jay Electronica is a hell of a producer his own self. Like, I don't know if he produced on here, but if he didn't,
he actually produced the majority of the album. 1, 2. Well,
Ah.
the first song is an intro, so we're not really going to count that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 9 songs were produced by Jay Electronica.
well,
So maybe that's it
maybe
as well.
that's part of it.
Yeah, if you don't like the production, Jay Electronica did a lot of the production.
I don't like a lot of production. I definitely don't like when it sounds like he's in that almost a trap bag. Like some of those beats were a little,
Really?
not full trap, but like a little too right now. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to tap into a certain thing that he didn't even need to pay attention to that. He needs to pay attention to the boom bap motherfuckers that love him and give us that Just Blaze type of shit. Like, but it didn't have to be Just Blaze, but that type of shit, that lane, I just needed more of that. Like, and I don't know. But now that he's put something out, can you not fucking make us wait again? Like, for people like me that might have not felt this, could you come back and give us that shit that we was looking for? And not make us wait another 10 years? Because we're not waiting that long again. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Jay's Muslim, and there's a lot of reference to the Nation of Islam, to both Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad and so forth. And I think the Nation of Islam is a respectable group that I have interviewed people from before, and also I use them for my security sometimes and so forth. Was Jay touching on 5% at all, or not really?
Yeah, he first of all, the two are very similar. The 5% Nation comes out of the Nation of Islam. So
Right.
there's a lot of there's a lot of connection there. I think he may have had knowledge of self at one point, you know, as far as being a 5%er. Now, we have people in the nation of gods and earths in the 5% that have a problem with him, like, because he wears the chain that Jay-Z let him wear with the universal, with our universal flag, but then he'll still have on his FOI, you know, uniform and all that type of stuff. And some people have a problem with that. You know what I mean? To me, you know, I came up very closely with both. You know, I could have been an FOI, but I ended up going down that 5%er role, maybe because of the age I was at. But definitely what pulled me into knowledge of self and just, you know, looking at the world from a different view was the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad, and Message to the Black Man, Fall of America, things like that. So, you know, I've always had a certain love for the Nation of Islam and you know, never had a problem necessarily with those brothers. You know what I mean? I see those as my brothers as well. But, you know, some people don't like the commingling.
Well, what did you think about the synagogue of Satan line in the first song?
Well, first of all, I didn't think anything about that line. Now, what do I think about Rosenberg having a problem with it? I think he needs to sit down and just be quiet. You know why? Because this, first of all, Synagogue of Satan never said anything necessarily about Jewish people specifically. It's a line that's inside of the Bible. What they're trying to say is there's synagogues of God and there's synagogues of Satan. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's people that worship God and there's people that worship Satan. I don't think that line was to specifically go after Jewish people. But now, let's just say it was, okay? Out of all the shit in hip hop that denigrates black people every fucking day, we talk about murdering black people. We talk about pimping and hoeing black women and all kind of shit like that. You, white man, have sat there and listened to all those lyrics and didn't protest about not one of them, Mr. Rosenberg. Yet, the first thing you hear that you feel is construed that's negative, that you construe it as negative towards Jewish people, you had a problem with it and felt it, you know, you needed to say something about it. I'm saying, if we don't have a problem with a bunch of other shit in hip hop and you were silent about that, just the way we sit back and you know, all kinds of shit gets disrespected in our own fucking music. We sit back, listen to it, take it, shut up. Man, there's movies and all kinds of shit. I just watched 48 Hours last night and Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy was having a fight and he said something. He said, what'd he say? I fight dirty, nigger. And we love fucking 48 Hours. We heard that line and just let it go. Motherfuckers probably still love Nick Nolte. All I'm saying is there's a lot of there's a lot of negative shit out there. If you didn't have a problem with that, then you're gonna have to leave this shit alone.
Well, so here's the line. And I bet you a Rothschild, they get a bang for my dollar. The synagogue of Satan want me to hang by my collar. It's interesting that he used the Rothschild name. Because he used to fuck one of the Rothschilds. He was fucking, matter of fact, she was married and ended up leaving her husband.
And that's why I said a Rothschild would get a bang for my buck or whatever.
Yeah, Rothschilds is actually a wealthy Jewish family.
Yeah.
That's allegedly has been tied into all types of,
no, not allegedly. They are
theories.
Like these motherfuckers with the banking system and all that. That's these motherfuckers. It ain't no allegedly. Yeah. It's real.
I'm not familiar. I'm not going to speak on
Okay.
something I'm not fully familiar. But it's known as the Rothschild banking family. I guess they own a bunch of banks and so forth. And he was messing with one that was like his girlfriend, I guess, for a while.
And which is crazy to us in the conscious community because he knew better at that point. Like we don't even understand what that was all about. Like no one, I haven't heard an explanation. All I know is he was doing that, and then he stopped. It seemed like he stopped, and now he was back with like the Nation of Islam, rolling with the brothers Wakil and them. So I don't know. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I don't know either. When I heard the line, and I'm Jewish myself, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. It didn't really bother me one way or another.
Right. And what I'm saying
Jay,
is with all the negative shit that's said about black people in hip hop, why do you, Mr. Rosenberg, who is a guest in this motherfucking thing, felt like you needed to like voice your opinion on that? Like, why? I'm not gonna lie. From the minute I seen Rosenberg come on the scene, I'm like, who is this guy? Why? How did he even get to where he was at? Like, I didn't even understand how he had got his radio show on Hot 97 originally. Apparently, he was in the college radio world or some shit like that.
Was it Boston or something like that? I don't quite remember.
Like that. Yeah, and I guess he used to play underground hip hop.
Yeah, me and Rosenberg really don't have a relationship.
I don't have one with him either, so I don't have a problem saying. And it's not that I like him or don't like him. I just felt like he was one of those that definitely, white privilege. Like you telling me there wasn't a black college radio station dude that played underground hip hop that we couldn't have put on Hot 97 overnight and then groomed him to be on the morning show? We couldn't have done that? Like, come on, sure we could have. But, I saw a pattern for a long time with Hot 97, where they was like removing the black DJs and inserting either Spanish DJs or white DJs. Now, don't get me wrong, I see Puerto Ricans and all that as black too, but they don't necessarily see them as black. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They see them as almost a different form of black. You know what I mean? Especially since their hair is straighter. So they would do a lot of that. You know what I mean? And especially at Hot 97, it seemed like. We're going to put in these Spanish DJs and white DJs and remove the black DJ, who is the hip hop pillar, who again started this shit. All the early, most of the early DJs was black, and you had a few Puerto Rican ones. You know what I mean? Charlie Chase, fucking people like that.
Speaking of white people in hip hop, Eminem went on Mike Tyson's podcast. Oh, God. And Mike Tyson said that Eminem knows what it's like being an N-word.
Right. And Eminem didn't even know how to respond to that. Like that was so crazy that he didn't even know how to respond to that. Listen, Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. He's going to say what he's going to say. And I don't think there's too many people that's going to like disagree with him in his face. So he said that, but nobody in that room other than him believed that. like
right.
Nobody in that room, including Eminem. Mike Tyson was the only one in that room that believed what he just said at that moment.
Imagine if Eminem agreed with him and said, yeah, man, I've always felt that way.
Right, I'm glad you said that.
I'm glad you said it, because I can't say it, but you said it. I agree with you. Imagine that conversation.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever. Like, this, that's Mike Tyson. That's all I could say. Like, it's Mike Tyson. Like, Mike can say whatever the fuck he want to say out here in the world. Like, it's Mike Tyson.
That's Mike Tyson.
That's all I can say. That's just that. Hey, that's Mike Tyson. Man.
You can just say it's Mike Tyson.
You know, in Mike Tyson's world, like, it's just a different world. You know what I mean? So that's probably how he felt at the moment, or that was his observation at the moment. But nobody believes that.
Nobody believed that. Well, I interviewed Rich the Kid recently, and I brought up the whole whites are guests in the House of Hip Hop. Did you watch that interview?
Yeah, I saw it.
That piece?
You keep bringing it up.
Was that?
I said, yeah, you keep bringing it up.
I keep bringing it up.
Yep.
And he was almost like offended by it. He's like, oh, no, nah, man.
Right.
Rap isn't a white thing. You know, I don't want to say anything more about it. Like, he was almost like disgusted by that statement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Eminem said that he actually is absolutely a guest in the House of Hip Hop. When you look at white people in hip hop, do you feel like they're guests in the House of Hip Hop?
I don't think so.
Why is that?
Anybody can rap. Anybody can do whatever they want. I don't play no color in that shit. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Like, he's a little kid. He's never even really thought about it. I don't think he even thought about it until that very moment. And then at that moment, it's like, in his world, no, yeah, anybody could do it. And again, I love when I hate when they say, oh, I don't feel nobody should do it. I never said white people can't do it. Like anybody should be able to do it? Yeah, anybody can do it. I didn't say anybody can't do it. I just said remember who fucking started this shit and give the fucking proper respect. That's all. So, yes, anybody can do it. You know what I mean? You wanna, white people, Chinese, whoever, like any nationality can rap if they want to. I'm not saying you can't. I don't have the monopoly on who can rhyme and who can't rhyme. But I'm just saying, black people started this shit. Give us our fucking respect. That's all.
Did you hear the Machine Gun Kelly song where we talk about killing Eminem on Bullets with Names?
No. He has a new song?
Newer song.
Okay.
I mean, he came out. We did a post about it. It kind of came and went. I think that whole rap beef is pretty much over.
Yeah, I didn't hear that at all. Like, his first one I definitely heard, and I thought it was pretty good, actually. Is this in rap? Because is he doing rock now?
He's doing both, I think. Because this song has like Young Thug and Lil Durk on it.
Okay.
So it's definitely a rap song, but I think he's going to be more rock. I can see him becoming more of a Kid Rock type figure as time progresses. Yep. He knows where his money's at. He knows.
That's the one thing I'm going to give your boy Eminem credit for. He never, well, I guess it's because he stayed successful, though. See, all the ones that were successful and then their success ended in hip hop, they ended up going over to do some other shit to get life somewhere else and then be successful. Eminem's the only one that didn't do that, but he's the only one that still has a career as a white rapper. So
right, because I remember we were interviewing Machine Gun Kelly like early, like before he even signed, I think, or right after he signed, and we kept talking to him early on. I think he was mad at me about something recently, but whatever. But at one point he was talking about how his career sort of was playing out, because I think this is around the time that Puffy had the big Bad Boy kind of reunion thing, and he wasn't part of it. And he was talking about how the places where he performs is like places you've never even heard of, like Wyoming and Idaho and Wisconsin and Kentucky and these towns where he has his following.
Coincidentally, those are places we've never been to.
Never been to.
Never been to Wyoming or Iowa or Dakota or some shit like. Never. Been to Utah once.
I've been to Utah. I haven't been to these other places. But I think that, look, at the end of the day, you are an artist, but you also have to support yourself, right? You have to pay the bills. And the people like the Machine Gun Kellys and the Kid Rocks of the world, at one point see, look, this is where I'm being booked at consistently. I'm not being booked in Los Angeles and New York consistently like I am in Ohio or Kentucky or North Dakota or whatever
And
else.
why
So
do you
look,
think that is?
I think that there's more white people in those places, and that's primarily his fan base. I think that I don't know too many black people that put Machine Gun Kelly as their favorite rapper, but I'm sure there's lots of white boys out there that do.
Exactly.
Well, remember, I had brought up the reason why Royce dissed Yellow Wolf
They're saying that that's
in
not
our interview.
true. Because a bunch of people tried
Well-
to say that's not true. That wasn't. I had people DMing me. I know these guys. That wasn't true. What Vlad said. So, do we have a new story, or was that it?
Well, I'll put it like this, okay? I spoke to Royce after the interview. Me and Royce have had a good relationship for a long time. I spoke to Royce, and it was a private conversation, so I'm not going to say what we spoke about, but I can tell you this. Has he publicly
Said
spoken
Vlad was bugging.
and said Vlad is not telling the truth?
Nope.
Vlad is bugging. Vlad is way off.
Nope.
All this stuff that Vlad is saying
Nope.
did
I
not
didn't hear
happen.
him say that.
He did lots of interviews after that came out. That question was asked. He's on social media actively. Has he denied it?
Can I just say that Royce has been sounding a lot like Lord Jamar lately? With some of the things he's been saying as far as like white privilege and racism and all kind of shit. I'm like, is this Royce right now? Like, I love it though. Come around, brother. I'm with you. Come on board, bro.
Well,
Because
remember-
maybe shit like that help him see.
Well, I think that ultimately, when you have these types of discussions or conflicts or however you want to frame them, and you have two people coming from opposite ends, the more these things get discussed, both people start to come together and moderate, see the other person's point to a certain degree.
These are
and they kind of
revelations.
come
Those are
towards the
called
circle, towards the
revelations.
middle a little bit.
You have revelations like, you know what? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hang on. Now
Yeah.
I see what this motherfucker was talking about. Maybe he wasn't so. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm all with it.
Hey, shout out to Royce. Me and him have
Shout
always
out
been
to
cool.
Roy. I really have enjoyed some of his newer interviews that I've.
There you
checked
go.
out.
Here it is. This is an interview on VladTV where Jamar is speaking positively about Royce.
Well, I never talk negatively about Royce.
You've had some negative stuff that you've said about Royce. 100%. 100%.
Not really.
100%.
After he came at me. This all.
But you still said it. You still said negative things about him, regardless of what led up to it.
Well, I just had to. Okay, whatever. I don't want to backtrack, but
No,
I
we don't
didn't
have
really
to
say
backtrack.
nothing negative about him. I just had to put some things in perspective. That's all.
Both of you guys have said negative stuff about each other. I have spoken to both of you individually about it. From what I understand, both of you are open to eventually having a conversation about it. Maybe I could broker that at some point. Maybe I can't, whatever. But at the end of the day, I respect both of y'all. And it seems like some of the stuff that Royce is saying is similar to some of the stuff that you've been saying. Not about Eminem, of course, but about other people. So that's what it is. And I think it's cool. I'm here for it. Like, when I heard the story about Yellow Wolf and his people using the N-word around a black kid and telling him that he just needs to accept it and that's just rock and roll or whatever else, like, nah, you don't need to accept that. You don't need to be speaking like that. And the fact that you have a black wife and black kids on top of that is like that's what you're trying to put out there.
They always pull that out to say he can't possibly be racist because he has a black wife and black children. And to that I say, so did slave masters had black children and all of that, but they still would sell them off and beat them and kill them and all kind of shit like that. So what the fuck does that matter? Like that doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, man, I'm not rocking with Yellow Wolf after what I heard. And like I said, for anyone who says that I'm a liar or my information is wrong, until you hear Royce say that what I'm saying is wrong, all y'all need to shut the fuck up and sit down. How's that? How's that?
Agreed. I concur, Vlad. I concur.
Okay, this is one that hurt me a little bit. Chuck D fired Flavor Flav from Public Enemy. And I guess it was co-signed by all the other members of the group and everything else like that. I had just interviewed Flavor Flav a few months previous, and me and him were still texting each other every so often. Me and Chuck D, I'd interviewed him like 10-something years ago, and me and him still keep in contact. I was disappointed overall because, and I told this to Flav, you really don't have Public Enemy without Flavor Flav. You just don't. You could say that this is a decision of the group and so forth. When you think of Public Enemy as a group, yes, Chuck D is the main rapper of that group, but they never would have blown up without Flavor Flav.
We didn't discuss
Chuck
this last
D,
time? Didn't we discuss this already?
Yeah, we discussed this. We
Oh.
discussed, but not this. Not Flav getting kicked out. We
I thought
definitely
he was
didn't
already
discuss
kicked
that.
out. When's the last time
I
we
don't
talked
think so.
about this?
I don't think so.
Because I remember saying, listen, like, you know, as prolific as Chuck D was and as strong as Public Enemy was, you're right. I don't think they would have been as popular as they were without Flav, because Flav was that balance. Like, without Flav, Public Enemy is just too damn scary for white America. But by having Flav as the comic relief, it was that perfect balance between, you know, seriousness and fun. All with the backdrop of great hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, so
Right, because I remember when I interviewed Chuck and Flav, and I'm trying to remember whether I mentioned it to both of them, but the story goes, and they both co-signed the story, was that when they were first signing to Def Jam, Rick Rubin didn't want
Right.
Flav in the group.
and Chuck had to talk him into, like,
Chuck had to put his
explain
foot
what
down and
he
say,
does.
no, like, this guy needs to be in the group.
because you
And,
got to understand, there was no hype man at the time. Like, Flav created the hype man. And if anybody that came after that was a hype man and got paid, y'all need to fucking give some tithes or something to this man, because he created a lane for y'all motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So yeah. But that being said, what's a little disappointing to me is what it seemed to be over. You know, that it was this whole Bernie Sanders, you know, Flav didn't want to perform at this Bernie Sanders rally, and
For free.
for
For
free,
free.
ended up sending a cease and desist and all of this type of stuff. And I mean, just that the fact that Bernie Sanders' name is involved in it at all, as a partial reason of why this guy got fired, is just like, to the real Public Enemy fans, to the ones that, you know what they stand for and all of that, it's a little disappointing that it was something like that did it. You know what I mean? Like, for some of us, it's like, yo, Chuck, like, come on. Like, you put up with this dude smoking crack for like 30 years, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, come on, bro.
Right. There was like this little part of our interview where Flav said that when they were filming the music video for Night of the Living Bassheads, that he said that they were actual crackheads in the video, and he said that, like, they gave him some crack.
They went out to
make it
get
even
crack
more realistic.
for him. Chuck said he don't know nothing about that. He said if it did happen, it happened unbeknownst to him. Which
Yeah,
I can see
and
that
that's
happening.
probably what happened.
I can
Right.
see that happening. There's people that will do whatever the fuck you got to do, management or whatever the fuck the case may be. Listen, Flav needs some crack. Like, who was managing him at the time? Rush, Lior, and them. Like, I definitely could see Lior being like, listen, if Flav needs, get this motherfucker whatever he needs in order to get him there. You know what I mean? And please. That was shit like that was commonplace, especially in the 70s. Like record labels supplying
that song
artists with
came out in the 80s. It wasn't the 70s.
I'm just
That
saying.
song's
I'm
in the
just
80s, yeah.
saying when it really was prevalent was in the 70s. So now you're coming out of the 70s into the 80s. You think these practices are not still going on? Like, of course they are. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, you're never gonna be able to take away the memory or you know what the accomplishments that they did together. You know what I mean? All right, Flav is kicked out of the group right now. In all intents and purposes, we know that Public Enemy's greatest days are behind them. So it's not like they was getting ready to drop a new album and now Flav is kicked out of the group and that's gonna fuck it all up. You know what I mean? Symbolically, it's not cool. It hits us, it hurts us as hip hop purists that, you know, one of the groups that we really love, and for me, Public Enemy is probably my favorite group of all time. With my favorite album of all time, hip hop album, which is Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. To me, that's the greatest hip hop album ever produced, ever.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Would you say that's the greatest album ever made in your eyes?
Who?
Would you put Nation of Millions over Off the Wall?
Yes. Only because it resonates with me more. You see what I'm saying? Am I gonna say that? But see, they're two different things. You see, like you have the sampling genius of the Bomb Squad, and then you have the actual musical, you know, orchestration genius of a Quincy Jones. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to really compare the two like that. You see what I'm saying? Apples and oranges type of deal. Like you can't necessarily. So that's why I said my favorite hip hop album. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I hope they work it out. Because remember, at one point, when Prodigy was alive, Mobb Deep broke up at one point. When he got out of prison and some stuff happened between him and Havoc, they had some words and so forth. They broke up. But before Prodigy died, they reformed back together and were touring. And he died while they were like on tour.
Let's not forget Professor Griff was kicked out of the group back in the days. Ended up coming back.
Is he currently back with Public Enemy?
If he's not with them right now, he was back with them after that at some point. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's with them right this second. But he was back with them. I'll also have to remind you that Grand Poobah left Brand Nubian.
There you go.
And came back.
I interviewed this artist named Fredo Bang out of Baton Rouge. It was actually our second interview. And we were talking about this one song he had where he's talking about basically sleeping with all these different female rappers and singers and so forth. And in the conversation, there's this one line where he wants to give a baby to JT of the City Girls. And he goes, oh, well, I just put that in to rhyme, but I don't really like dark-skinned black girls. And he's a dark-skinned guy himself. So I'm like, okay, well, they're going to kill you over this, right? He's like, oh, I know, I've already dealt with it and so forth. So we start getting to this conversation. And at first I thought it was going to be like, well, I just don't like, like a Glock 9 interview where he just said, I don't want anyone as dark as me. But he said, well, I'm not into dark-skinned black girls, even though my first few relationships was with a dark-skinned black girl. So I said, you're into white girls? He said, not at all. Spanish girls? No. He just only likes light-skinned black girls. He said, yeah, I'm trying to give a city girl a baby.
JT. I'm not really into like, I ain't gonna say I'm not into dark chicks, but I don't really into dark chicks like that. That was really just rhyming right there.
Okay. You more into light-skinned girls?
Yeah, I'm more into light-skinned.
You know they're gonna kill you over this, right? In the comments.
Yeah, they did already something like
Remember when Kodak Black said it back in the day?
Yeah, but the thing is, my last 2 girlfriends were dark skinned. So you can't really blame me.
So you just want something different now?
Yeah, I'm trying to like try something else.
Well, you live in Miami, so you got all the Latin girls out there and everything else like that.
Yeah.
No, that's not your thing either?
Nah,
White girls?
no.
No.
I don't, something about them just don't,
Asian girls?
never had one.
Never had one. Which kind of, I felt, has a little twist to that conversation a little bit. What do you think when you heard that?
You know, I didn't watch the interview, but I did see the headline and all of that type of shit. You know, there's degrees to everything. You see what I'm saying? So he hasn't gone to that final degree where he says, I only fuck with white girls. But he's at that degree where he only fucks with light-skinned black girls. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, there's different levels. There's different scales of how, you know, how blind or how much you can see. You understand what I'm saying? So he hasn't gone all the way to where he's like, I only fuck with white girls. Like, but he does have some sort of negative view, and we don't know why, you know what I mean, for him personally, but there's some sort of self-hatred there that, as a dark-skinned person, that you wouldn't want to deal with another dark-skinned person. Like, that's almost a self-hatred right there, and that's something that it doesn't just exist in Fredo Bang. That's something that's been instilled in many original people around the world. You'll find shit like this. In you know, where there's black people, the lighter people will always be treated better in a lot of these cultures. It's just how it is, based on the things that they've been taught over time or the shit that's been instilled. So, you know, can I blame him? You know, again, for a lot of these people, they might have not even consciously thought about it. Like, he might have said, yeah, I only like light-skinned girls, but he probably never thought to himself, why is that? Why do I only like light-skinned girls? Why do I not why do I not like dark-skinned girls?
Yeah, I remember me and Willie D, who's actually a pretty good friend of mine. We had this interesting conversation about this once over the phone. And he was telling me how his mentality when he was younger, you know, he was telling me about one of his friends called him and he goes, yo, man, come over. There's going to be a bunch of girls there. And he's like, oh, really? What do they look like? And his friend was like, they light-skinned. And back then, he was telling me how he equated with that, oh, they look good. And he's a dark-skinned man himself. And it wasn't until he got older when he realized, oh, man, I was really on some bullshit back then.
Like, all he had to say was they light-skinned, and, oh, okay, I'm there. Like, they must look good. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. Now, we've talked about this in previous interviews. When it was time for you to get married and have a child, you purposely chose a darker-skinned woman, right?
yes. Well, again, like, you know, see, I always knew the science of, you know, we're taught about the science of Yakub and the science of grafting and how you can take away, you can basically bring about white from black through certain means, through separation, through divide and conquer. You know, you have the black and the brown gene, and then if you isolate the brown, and it just gets lighter and lighter over time until you finally get to that white. So I'm thinking, okay, let's go back the opposite way. You know what I mean? Let's graft in reverse. You know what I mean? So me, who, first of all, my mom's is super light. You know what I mean? She's what I would call yellow. Now, I don't even like when people call me yellow because I feel like I'm light brown. Like I'm a caramel. Like, to me, yellow is like my man Aaron Cooks. You know what I mean? He's yellow to me. So I don't like when people call me yellow. I'm light brown, motherfuckers. Anyway, but I was like, yeah, let me, since my mom's is so light, you know, I might fuck around. If I was to have a lighter woman, the chances of my seeds being light is probably high. So I'll, you know, if I'm gonna have a seed, it should be with someone who's darker than me. So my son's mother's darker than me, and then my wife currently right now is darker than me. But then it didn't fully work out because both my seeds came out light skinned. Like, you know, they're not light as my mom's, but they lighter than me. So
that's interesting. So although the mother of both of your children, the mothers of both of your children are darker than you, your kids came out lighter than the both of you.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Word.
You don't see that very often. Usually you think, okay, you got this combination. But then again, when you talk about mixtures and so forth and recessive genes coming back, you really don't know what you're going to get. You know, unless you have two lily white or two, you know, very dark Africans making babies, you kind of don't know.
You could have two very dark Africans and then they make an albino. That can happen.
They might make an albino. Well, anyone can make an albino, right?
Yeah, but well, first of all, yes.
Any race
a white person cannot make the opposite of an albino. A white person can never make an all black. You see what I'm saying? Whereas we can make an albino in one generation, but y'all can never make a black version of that.
I feel you. In that same interview with Fredo Bang, something interesting actually came out. He was best friends with this guy, G Money. He was a rapper out of Baton Rouge who we were actually just about to interview, and he ended up getting murdered.
Oh, man. Damn.
Yeah. It's really sort of mind-blowing. You know, like when you do something long enough, you kind of get to see everything. The number of people that have died before our interviews is really somewhat mind-blowing to me. Like Pop Smoke died before his interview. G Money died before his interview. This guy named what the fuck is his name? Ronnie Newt.
And hold up.
Died a couple days before his interview.
They got killed.
Well, Ronnie Newt died.
Okay.
He was an older guy, you know, as well as Dick Gregory. We were scheduling an interview with him, and he ended up passing away. Two people I know got killed. Two people that I know died from whether it was heart attack or something, you know, but I can count about 4 people off the top of my head that have died right before our interview. Well, in this case, this guy was murdered. This was actually his best friend. And in the interview, because he had mentioned this before, but, you know, with me, I like to dig into stuff. He said that the guy that's been charged with G Money's murder, he said is not the guy who did it.
Mm.
And I said, that's interesting. So if you were asked to take the stand to speak on this guy's behalf, would you do it? He said, nah, he'll be all right. Do you know the guy that's being charged? Okay. And you feel it's not.
He used to be around us.
Aha.
Back in 2014.
Okay. If his trial came up and they asked you to get on the stand and talk about him as a character witness or you as a character witness or nothing, no, you're not doing all that. You're not getting on the stand for nothing. Even to potentially keep an innocent man out of prison?
Nah, he gonna be good.
He gonna be all right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's interesting. So you have this code that you stand behind to such a degree that you would potentially let an innocent man get life in prison because you don't want to be labeled as a snitch or a cooperator or a whatever else. But this guy who he knows this guy, is basically on his own.
That is interesting. Hell, let's just talk this out. Let's unpack this for a second.
Okay.
So you're not snitching, you're not telling who killed your man, right? But you're not willing to say this guy didn't do it, that was innocent. Like, is that, if you went on the stand, I'm just asking this out loud because, first of all, you know, to all y'all gangsters out there and all this type of shit, if he went on the stand to say that this guy didn't do it, but didn't give any information on who did do it, but he was just, all he was to say, listen, I don't know if he was there. Let's just say he was there. I could unequivocally tell you that was not the gunman. That guy was not even here.
Yeah. And let me just kind of add a note here. He was in prison when his friend got killed, so he couldn't have been there, period.
Right,
so
okay.
It's not exactly like that, but
so
he
then
says
how could he get on the stand then? He couldn't get on the stand.
Well, what I said was, you know, I didn't say get on the stand and give information, but if they asked you to be a character witness for this guy, because think about it.
Well, character witnesses
sometimes
would be people that he knew. You see, he could
Right.
never be a character witness.
He
It
knows
would have
this
to
guy.
be more of my situation. Let's throw the facts out like you like to do, right?
Okay.
Throw the facts out, and let's just say he was home, right? He was there when it happened, okay? He saw the guy that did it. He knows that this is not the guy who did it.
Mhm.
But this guy gets locked up for it. Is that snitching if he was to go to court and say, this guy, I know this guy didn't do it, but he does not give on any information, even though that guy killed his best friend, he does not give any information on who really did it, but he gave information on who didn't do it.
Right. Being an alibi, let's say. No, like I'm the alibi. He was at home playing Xbox with me during this time. He couldn't have done it.
Yeah, I guess you could call it an alibi. I'm just saying, like, not even an alibi. I'm saying he's not even down with this guy. Like, but he knows this guy didn't do it. Now, that's what I'm saying. Do you let an innocent man go to jail and all of that for, I don't know, man. Like street niggas, talk to me in the comments. Like, what do y'all feel about this? Because that's a tricky one right there. That's a tricky one. I know a lot of street niggas that would probably automatically say they still wouldn't tell, but it's like, I don't know. Like, if you got love for your people too, like for your people in general, like let's say you got love for black people and you don't want to see, you know what I mean? No black man go to jail, especially if he didn't do the shit. And you're not telling on who did do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think that's so bad. If you said this nigga he didn't do it, but I'm not gonna tell who did do it, but I'm gonna let you know he didn't do it. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. That's me personally. But again, I'm not in that life. I don't live that life. You see what I'm saying? So my opinion on that really doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
none of our opinions matter
right,
at all.
But I'm just saying
you're right.
how
Some
I'm
people
seeing it from a rational, I don't think that's snitching right there.
Yeah, look, some people just will not take the stand under any circumstances at all. If you look at most murder trials, the person accused almost never takes the stand. Almost never. I just interviewed, well, no, I didn't interview, but I had a conversation with someone we might be doing an interview with. And he was telling me about a situation where him and this other guy confronted this one dude, I guess owed him money or something. His man killed him, but since he was the more popular guy in that neighborhood, witnesses said that he did it. And he ended up getting 25 years. His man walked away from it, but he's the one that did the murder.
Right.
But during the case, neither one of them took the stand. So they just relied on the witnesses. He got found guilty. Now, after he was found guilty, his man wrote an affidavit saying, actually, I did it. But the judge at that point just threw it out and said, okay, this case is done. And I said, why would any person who just walked away with a murder implicate themselves in a murder and get 25 years? He goes, well, that's just the love that we had for each other. Like this is how we would, this is a DC guy. Mm-hmm. He said during that time in the 80s, like that love we had was so serious and so strong that people would take murder raps for you, for your brother, and you would do certain things. It's hard to really comprehend, but that was the rules they set. They did, and he did his 25 years. And he's not mad at the dude who did it.
I had a friend of mine that did 7 years for a murder that he didn't commit. Never said nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so, I've seen that shit go down. You know what this also reminds me of, though, right? This reminds me right now on Love and Hip Hop. You watch Love and Hip Hop?
Not at all.
Well, I think it's the Atlanta one. And so there's this girl, I forget her name, but she's like got some court shit going on, right? And because her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, his baby mama jumped her at a funeral or some shit like that, but then said that it was vice versa. And so then this one got locked up for it. And now it's similar to what she's talking about. She want homeboy to go to court and say that she didn't do nothing. Like, you know what I mean? But homeboy's like, I'm not even stepping in the building. Like, I don't fuck with court at all. Like, and not even to help you type of shit. Like, so that just kind of reminded me of what you're talking about right now.
Yeah. Some people just will not fuck with court by any stretch of the imagination because, he was even talking about how back then, like, being accused of snitching to any degree will get you killed right then and there, even if it's a rumor. Like, you'd have to go and kill somebody who accused you of being a snitch, like, to try to get that off the streets. So it's yeah, man, a lot of different rules in the 80s and the 90s compared to the 2020s. Nicki Minaj's husband, allegedly, I don't know if they're officially married or not, got arrested for not registering as a sex offender in California. And I guess he got bailed out and he had to give him relinquish his passport. So now he can't go overseas with her. They were in, Trinidad together partying and so forth. Apparently, part of being a sex offender means that you're not allowed to use the internet.
Really?
So he's trying to petition to try to get that off.
You can't use the internet?
You can't use the internet.
Well, I know plenty of motherfuckers is definitely not abiding by that. Like, come on. Like,
sex offenders?
I actually knew somebody that got put onto that list. I'm not going to talk about their case and no shit like that. And they're not around anymore. But they were on that list, and I know damn well they was on the internet.
Yeah. I actually looked up his case. Apparently, he was convicted or he pled guilty to raping a 15-year-old when he was 16.
Right.
It's not like he was molesting little kids or anything else like that. He was a kid himself. It was a long time ago. I don't know the case around it, but man, you really got to hand it. All these women who are dumping their man because, he cheated on them or he didn't take out the garbage or whatever. Nicki is sticking with a guy who is a registered sex offender and has no job.
But like you said, though, like, look, the shit happened when he was 16 years old. Like, honestly, that could have happened to anybody, bro. Like, you got to look at the circumstances sometimes. You know, I had a situation when I was 15, right? And my girlfriend, you know, we fucking already, right? So I'm sneaking into her crib, you know, fucking her after school and shit like that. So I'm in the crib one day, butt ass naked, fucking. All of a sudden I hear, "What are you doing?" Yo, her moms came in, bro. Her moms came in out of nowhere, you know, motherfuckers didn't hear it. Catch me knee deep in the pussy, right? So boom, she calls the father, and then she calls the police. Okay? And now I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stand up. You know, I'm like, you know, this is my girl though. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, well, I'm not running. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just sit here and wait. And the police came and all of that. You know what I mean? They're halfway laughing about the shit. You know what I mean? And they're like, how old are you? And I'm like, 15. And they're like, all right, well, listen, get out of here. They're like, but if you was 16, you could have got locked up for this. Like, you know what I mean? But they was like, basically, don't come around here no more. You know what I mean? Or we could lock you up for trespassing. But they was damn near fist bumping me like, you know what I mean? Yeah, little nigga getting some pussy. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm saying 1 year away, I could have been on that list. And I wasn't raping nobody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this girl was totally, you know what I mean, with it.
Yeah.
So
we do a lot of stupid shit. We do a lot of stupid shit as kids. If we suddenly were able to rewind and put a microscope on every stupid thing we did as a teenager, we would all be Me Too'd right now.
Her brother, that motherfucker, I think, is a rapist. That motherfucker, he on some other shit.
Oh yeah, he was raping a little girl, like his stepdaughter, for years. You know, Nikki actually defended him. She wrote a letter to the judge. She, you know, when her and Meek were going back and forth, she was claiming that his, you know, ex-wife was trying to extort her for $20 million to drop the charges or whatever. But at the end of the day, a jury heard all the evidence and said guilty.
And now that motherfucker's scared to death. I got a man who's a CO at the jail that he first went to. That motherfucker's in PC and all that, scared to death. Because motherfuckers know what he in there for. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. As he should be. As he should be. Well, since last time Harvey Weinstein got convicted.
And he got the Rona.
And he got the coronavirus in Rikers.
You see how I said it like a black man and you said it like a white man? I said he got the Rona. And you said, and he got the coronavirus.
The Rona, okay.
Come on, black people simplify everything. Like, let's keep it real. Okay. Like, we're not going to say the coronavirus. You got that Rona, nigga.
Got that Rona.
You got that Rona.
Okay. So, I remember when he got sentenced, there was all these people, I'm sure mostly women, that are like, why only 23 years? This man is 67 years old. He is going to get out at 90. If he gets out, more than likely, considering what shape he's in. Yeah. If I was a betting man, I would definitely put my money on him dying in prison.
I think he's going to die this year. He's going to die soon. Because he's just going to let his spirit go. He's just going to he's giving up.
Number one, were you surprised at 23 years? He got way more than Bill Cosby. What did Bill Cosby get, like 8?
I don't remember. I don't know if I was surprised. I wasn't invested in it like that. So I didn't think, I don't know if I expected anything. You know what I mean? It looked like he was definitely going to be guilty, but I didn't have any expectations of what his sentence might be. So When I heard 23, I said, okay, 23. I mean, he didn't get life, so I guess that's better. He could have got life, right?
He could have gotten life. And I actually looked it up. So Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. So after 3 years, he'll be up for parole. I doubt that Bill Cosby is going to be stabbing anybody or punching out any COs along the way. I'm sure after 3 years, there's a likelihood that he'll get out. But this guy got 23. So you're talking about damn near 8 times the amount that Cosby got. Man.
And what is that? Is that the one where white people could say, see, a white guy got a harsher sentence than a black guy, so you can't call racism? Like, nah, they had it out for that white guy. They traded him in a long time ago, so it don't even matter.
Oh, yeah. And what's interesting about that trial was that, you try to bring in character witnesses. When you're talking about a serious case like this, you want people, especially famous people, to speak on your behalf. And out of all the people out there that he has helped, that he has given movie careers to, that he has helped people get Oscars, hit films, everything, not a single person, male or female, got on that stand to speak nicely about Harvey Weinstein. Nobody. Not a single. He did not have one friend left when all that happened. All the people he helped, no one was going to put their reputation on the line to say, oh, look at the person who defended Harvey Weinstein. Even though, look, he was probably a piece of shit. I get it. He was probably a rapist. He was convicted of rape. I got it. But he wasn't raping all those men. There was literally probably hundreds of men that he helped along the way that would not help him.
But if you're raping women, you're probably doing scumbag shit to men too, though. You're probably, when you're a scumbag in one area, you're sometimes a scumbag in other areas. You see what I'm saying? So he could have been doing funny little deals with people, fucking raping their contracts. You see what I'm saying? Like there's more than one way to be raped other than just physically, sexually. You see what I'm saying? He could have been raping them psychologically. Who knows? Like, I'm just saying, fuck this dude. Like, he ain't never put me in nothing, so fuck him. Well, hold up. You know what I want to bring up real quick? I want to bring up something positive real quick. Have you been checking out these D-Nice DJ sessions on Instagram Live?
I have not, but I heard a lot about him.
I had the pleasure of going in one last night. Okay? It was, from what I understand, he probably was online already for about 6 hours. When I got there, it was like 1 a.m. He said he was about to shut it down. This motherfucker had like 23,000 people in the room. And this was at the end. Fucking Halle Berry's in the room, interacting. Fucking, like, mad people came in there. Swiss Beats, Dougie Fresh. Like, this shit is crazy. And, he just got you in there jamming. He's playing all, different types of music. At that moment, he was playing more like old school R&B, Teddy Pendergrass. I had to fuck around and open up some brown and pour me a little glass of brown and, have a little blunt and then some brown and sit there with the 23,000 people and listen to D-Nice. It was great. And I heard the first night he had like Michelle Obama and like this motherfucker got it going on. Like, first of all, he's one of the top, celebrity DJs. Like, he does a lot of big fucking events. All the high class shit I go to is like D-Nice be the fucking DJ. You know what I mean? I'm just happy for him and something positive like that is coming out of this. And now a lot of other people are starting to do it. Go online and doing little DJ sessions. Or I think Erykah Badu even talked about doing a little concert or some shit from her bedroom. Like, why not? Motherfuckers got time on your hands. I suggest y'all start eating better, exercising, You got time to read books now. Fucking, do some positive shit in this time.
Yep, I agree. Kanye recently did an interview where he said that he still supports Trump. He says,
I'm a black guy in a red hat.
You're seeing Trump in a very interesting spot right now, because I felt like the one thing that Trump always stood on, regardless of what people said, oh, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's this, he's that, he's anti-Mexican, whatever. Trump would always say, yeah, but look at the economy. Look at the stock market. Look how well I'm doing with that. At this point, all the gains that Trump has made during his presidency
out the window
have been erased off the stock market.
And isn't that ironic for somebody who has spent most of his presidency trying to erase shit that Obama did? For him now, for whatever little positive shit he might have did, his shit just get erased. Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. And Obama didn't have to do nothing. He didn't have to say nothing about you. Just this fucking shit came up. And see, that's some karma shit. Like, that's some karma shit. Maybe you shouldn't have been spending all your time trying to reverse this and that a fucking Obama did. And you know what I mean? Going out of your way to try to reverse shit, because now you got your shit reversed, motherfucker.
Yep. Definitely did. Did you follow the whole Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift thing?
No. What happened?
So apparently when, because there was the whole thing when Kanye stormed the stage. And,
right. And then after that, me and should have sex, and he called her and asked her.
Yeah.
And then,
So basically, he had a conversation with her and saying that, hey, I got this song and this is what's said in it and so forth. And then there's a line there that says, I made that bitch famous, right? So when that song came out, Taylor was like, yo, he never said that he was going to call me a bitch and so forth. So then Kim Kardashian pulls out this video of Kanye talking to Taylor that she's recording herself without Taylor's knowledge, where it's like, look, here's a video where it seems like Taylor knows about all this and she's agreeing to it all.
Yeah, but he said still owes me sex. That I never heard him say nothing about a bitch in that conversation.
Exactly. And she came back and said, yeah, he never said he was going to call me a bitch and stuff like that. And then this tape seemingly said that, Taylor's a liar. But then, I don't know who the hell Kim Kardashian pissed off, but someone was able to get the actual video that's unedited. And when they put it out, lo and behold, the whole bitch part was never mentioned, which they claimed was. And then Kim came back and said, oh, well, the only reason we said that was because her publicist was saying this and that, and the publicist said, well, here's my unedited statement that I put out. Unlike your video, this is unedited.
Right.
So here you go. And it just showed that basically Kim and Kanye were liars this whole time.
Right. All right, so now let me ask you. So now some other shit like this happens again with a different celebrity. And then Kim and Kanye come out and claim the same thing. Do we believe them?
Probably not.
Okay. I'm just saying. So it's not smart to believe liars, right?
Right.
Okay. Let's end on that.
Okay. You're tying this into the whole coronavirus thing? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's not smart to believe liars.
Okay. So Idris Elba's a liar.
No, I'm not. He could be being lied to. He don't know what
Durant
the fucking test looks like. No. These people.
All those other basketball players are liars.
See now,
Tom Hanks and his wife are liars.
First of all, don't misconstrue my words.
You're going to say that a woman that could do hip hop hooray word for word.
The scientists are liars. These people may very well believe that they have what they're told they have. I'm saying don't believe known liars. And these scientists are known liars. That's it. You do what
That's
you
it.
want. You cover up, do all the precautions, and that was pretty fucking funny with what's her name? Tom Hanks' wife
Tom
doing
Hanks'
Hip Hop
wife.
Hooray.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was fucking ill. That was pretty.
That was great.
That was pretty ill.
I realized watching her rap Hip Hop Hooray that I didn't know all the words to Hip Hop Hooray.
Same here. I was like, damn, the bitch know a couple more words than I fucking know. I didn't know. Oh, that's what he said right there. But you know what makes me think? Bro, she's an actress. She's used to remembering lines and shit like that. So, yeah.
Yep. Speaking of, before I let you go, you're on the next season of The Last OG.
Right. Well, I'm in the season finale of season 3, which is getting ready to come out. But that's going to now introduce me to be in season 4. So, yes.
Oh, you're in the season. Oh, so you're now a regular on the show.
Well, I'm not going to say regular, but I'm a reoccurring.
Reoccurring guest.
I'm a reoccurring character, but you will see me, the first time you will see me will be in the season finale of the upcoming season.
Dope. Can't wait. I love that show, by the way.
And then
I
also
watched
check
every
me out on
episode.
For Life on ABC on Tuesdays. I'll be in episode 11 on that one.
That's how we do it. Lord Jamar, man, appreciate you coming in under such crazy circumstances.
Yes, sir.
And spreading that information to people who are listening to us. Be safe out there, and we're all going to get through this together.
Yes, we are. No, all storms shall pass. Nothing, no storm could even after 40 days and 40 nights, the rain had to stop at some point. You understand what I'm saying? So
There you go.
nothing to fear but fear itself, people. That's all I have to say.
That's what it is. Until next time, peace.
Peace.